This will be a critique of JohnThaCube, aka Giannis Grigoropoulos. 8.25, average of 5. And the reconstruction scramble and the video will be in the description. Once again, if you want to get a solve critique, simply send me a video with 5 solves and reconstructions. You can put the reconstructions into CubeDB, which makes it easier, and you can just send it to me in the comments below. Anyways, first solve is pretty simple. R2, L, U, F, and you did a D move. And instead of doing a D move into rotation, you can just do a wide U. And this always applies. Whenever you have a cross that can be solved with the D move, you can just do a wide U. And if the cross could be solved with D prime, you can just do a wide U prime. If the cross is solved with D2, you can do a wide U2. Depends on what makes look ahead easier or what makes what prevents a rotation. So you did that next. And you had this pair. So you did this to pair it up, and then you rotated. So first of all, you don't really have to rotate. You can just do that, and then you have a nice continuation. Like this pair, you can solve like so. But yeah. Anyways, you did not do that, and you didn't. You rotated into that, and that leads me to the other way to solve the case. Since this front slot is empty, you can just pair it up with L prime U prime L, and then insert, which is a bit faster. So, something like that. Something like that. Yeah, but that's not what you did. You did this into rotation, and don't rotate for this pair. Anyways, you had this pair next, and you did R, U prime, R prime into this insert, which isn't bad, but it is faster to just do this. So, like, just compare the speed of that as to this. The first one's faster, second one has grip shift and an M move, which is more annoying. So you should do this. Anyways, you did this, and it's not a good insert, don't use it. But anyways, for this pair, the better way to do it is just F prime, insert the pair, and then F, and that would look like this. You could also do F prime with your left index, and then middle U prime, like so. That's not what you did, but if you did do that, notice that you could just do an F2 to an F prime case. So you can just solve this pair with L prime U2L U, L prime U2L, and here you can even cancel into the old L, and then you get a U prime or US U prime. Anyways, that's not what you did, unfortunately. And you did something like this into this insert. And last pair was fine. You did the sledge algorithm, and I do recommend this algorithm, so good job on doing it. Here, you could have done that, but since you know TZBLL, since you knew the ZBLL, it was better that you did the ZBLL. So, to recognize the AUF for the ZBLL, which you probably did, I'm just reminding you, you would see that this block is here, right? And wherever this block needs to go is where the AUF needs to go. Since the block is a U2 away from being solved, you would do a U2 AUF. And for example, if it's like this, then it's a U prime away from being solved, the block. So you would be a U prime AUF, and so on. So yeah, first solve was pretty good. Second solve. So you did a Y2, X into, yellow cross. So you did R, U, wide L, D2, R prime, D prime. And that brings me once again to the point that you can avoid rotation by just doing a wide U prime. And that just allows you to solve this rotation list. And you can cancel into this pair as well. And yeah, this is a really nice continuation. And solving this pair, probably just gonna do that. Oh, and get the same U prime that you would get. Anyways, going back to what you did, you had something like... Okay, so the cross solution is honestly fine on itself, but I think there's something better you could have done. Let's see. So you do have this corner over here, and I do think that allows for an X cross if you're smart enough. Let's see what you can do. So this isn't necessarily easy, but I do see one. So if you do something like Okay, if you do something like R2 and then D2, R, B prime, R2 prime, and next you can insert this edge like this. And here you can actually make a double X cross because you can just insert this corner with a double sexy move. And then do a YG prime to avoid having to rotate. And then you can just do something like this. And for this F12 case, you would want to get all your edges, right? And the way to get that is to insert the unsolved edge. Like there's 3 edges on top. The unoriented edge you have to insert, and you insert like that, and that gives you ZBLL. And if I'm not mistaken, this ZBLL can be solved with, yep, that's how you do it. Anyways, going back to your solution, you did a Y2 X R U Y L D2 R prime D prime Y, and yeah, just do a YG prime instead of D prime Y. But anyways, you did this pair. Okay. And here you could have canceled into this pair, but you didn't do that, and you saw a different pair instead. Now, what was the pair you saw? You saw this pair over here. Interesting choice. I'd recommend doing it rotationless like this. R prime canceled into that, and it's a bit faster than having to rotate, but interesting choice. I wouldn't recommend rotating and doing that because now you have to rotate again. Because you did rotate again. Anyways, here you could do a pseudo slotting case, but it's not necessarily the best. So yeah, I see why you just did this pair like that. However, even if you can't do pseudo slotting, you should do keyhole, and you could just do D2, insert the corner, and a D2 to align, or you can do D2, insert into a YG2, or you can do a YG2, insert into a D2, and that would give you the pair into the front. But anyways, you just did this pair like that, and then rotation into this pair. And just so you know, you could do a rotationless. I don't recommend it all the time because here you get a dot, but if you want to solve it rotationless, the best analog is just pair it up like that into an insert. And you should really get good at these fat F move inserts because they're really useful during F12. And oh my god. And even Felix uses them. So you do something like that. Anyways, you did this and OLL into PLL. Now you did the R3 U perm. I guess that's okay. Yeah, I prefer M move U perms, but I'm not gonna complain about RU U perms. Like, they're not bad. You should learn RUS as well. But anyways. Solve number 3. You did an X, Y, into blue cross. So B, L, D2. Okay, free pair. That is pretty self-explanatory. Nothing wrong here. Okay, so now you did a rotation into R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U prime, F. Okay, so you shouldn't rotate for this case, and you should just do, you could either just do fat F R fat F prime into inserting, or what I would do is just fat F R fat F prime from this angle, and then insert the pair like so. Like, it's faster than rotating, and it's not that good to rotate, but you rotated and solved it, and then you did a double rotation, which is bad because there's never a reason to do double rotation, but you did Y prime, Y prime. What was the pair that you did? R prime, U R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R. Okay, I see. You did this pair. And of course, you can just do it without a rotation. Even if you were to do a Y prime, though, just do a Y2 instead of doing Y prime, Y prime. But anyways, it's better to just do a rotationless. So yeah, don't rotate. But you did a Y prime, and you did a U Y prime into, okay, back sexy again. Now, when you have this case in the front, the best alg to do it is just sledgehammer and then insert the pair. And you do sledgehammer with your left index like so. And what it would look like is that. Yihang got his 3.83 with this algorithm. If you look at the reconstruction. But anyways, that's not what you did. You did that. It's not bad. I just recommend not rotating for it. But you had this OLL, which you did a bad alg for. I really don't recommend this alg. I recommend Hatter prime, wide R U, wide R prime, U prime, wide R prime F, wide R S. So you had this OLL, you did the bad alg for it, and then you had a V perm. That's why you don't do bad algs. Bad algs give you V perm. Solve number 4, you did a Y2 into yellow cross. So R, F, R prime. Okay, you did D, F2, L2, D prime. And instead of doing D, F2, L2, D prime, you could just do U2, L2 like that, and then B2. Because it's one less move and it's faster. But that's not what you did. Okay. Let me just solve the cube. So honestly, I'd solve the back left pair first, and that I would do this pair next, and here I would probably solve this pair like so. Yeah. OLL and PLL. Going back though, Y2 R F R prime D F2 L2 D prime, and you did a U prime into. Okay, your big brain, and you did this. But there is a bigger brain alg. It's R2 prime, D prime, F2, D, R2. And I find it better for look ahead. And also I think it's just better in general. But this isn't bad either, so you did that. And you solved this pair with F2, wide R, U2 prime, wide R prime. And good job for doing that because it paired up the next pair. And also another good thing about it is if you see this edge right here, you know that it's going to stay in place. So I'm glad that you saw that. However, there is a finger trick nitpick. You could do F prime like that, F prime with the right index, and then insert, and it would look like that. So something like that. I'm not as good as this as I am for the lefty version. But anyways, you could just go right into this pair. And personally, I would have just went right into it by doing an LU to L prime, but you did a U prime, L, U prime, L prime. And just saying, LU to L prime is better than U prime, L, U prime, L prime. But if you did it well, which you didn't, you could have done something like L, U2, R, U, R prime, L prime. And that solves all of F2L for you. But you did not do that, and you just did this into solving this pair. Yeah, honestly, I would do, once again, I would do R, B, U2, B prime, R prime, because it gives you all your edges. Also, it's a fast alg in general, but anyways, you just did it normally. And you got a fat anti-soon into a very long PLL. Okay, so I do recommend the RUD alg, but if you have it from this angle, just do the RUF alg like that. And the RUF alg is actually faster than the RUD. So R2F, RU prime, R prime, F prime, RU2, R prime, U2R. It is a little bit faster than the RUD, if done well. Yeah, it can be faster than the RUD, but you did U2 into RUD, which I don't blame you for. Just do RUD and RUF like I do. Last solve was on yellow cross, and you did D prime, R prime, D prime, R2, U prime, L prime. And now this is perfectly fine up until you did the U prime, because there's literally no point in doing U prime, L prime into this pair. It's not worth it. Instead, you can do either L prime, U into rotation into that, which would be faster, or you can just do the algorithm for this pair into the back, which is only 4 moves. So the alg is wide R prime, U2, wide R, B2, and looks like that. It's super fast. And the really nice thing is it's actually really good for look ahead. And here's why. Because you see this pair right here, right? Doing the entire alg actually doesn't affect your look ahead at all, because these pieces don't move at all. These pieces don't move at all. These ones barely move, so you can just do that and it would solve it. Next you would do something like this, blah blah blah. Anyways, going back to your solution. D prime, R prime, D2, R prime. You did this pair, and you did U prime, U prime. Now you can just do a U2 instead, and you can insert with a U2 like that instead of doing U R prime, U R. I noticed that you do U R prime, U R, and U prime, L, U prime, L prime, which is worse than just doing that. But you did this, and this pair you can't just do rotationless, and I would cancel into the next pair after that, but you did it with a rotation. Here's how I would do a rotationless. And also you could do this one rotationless as well with R prime, FR, U2, F prime, because the front right slot is empty. But did that and this, and you had a sexy sledge into a PLL. Now PLL, I recommend this alg a lot more than the RUL alg, but you did U2 into RUL. And you did U2, which is worse than U2 prime, because U2 prime allows you to set up your regrip, but you did this. And yeah, I really don't like this alg. It's not as fast as this one, so you should do that one. Now, as for the rest of my critique, I'm just going to say that for the first solve, I noticed that you did a DY, and you can always just do YG moves during cross to prevent that from happening. And another thing is, for the second pair, you could just do this for it, and never do this insert. It's kind of bad. Always do this one instead. Anyways, also for this pair, you can just do F prime, R prime, or F, like that. I'm not sure I have much else to say, because the rest of your solve was pretty good. Now for solve 2, you did a D prime into Y. Now once again, you can just do YG moves to prevent rotations. And next, what I recognized that you could work on is your solution for this pair. You can just do fat FR, fat R prime into the insert. And you did Y prime, don't do that. As well as this, you can do a sledge into an insert. You can also do double sledge depending on your EO. But anyways, the OLL alg for this case should do this algorithm. It's much faster. So yeah, you switch to this one. And yeah, don't do the bad alg, otherwise you'll get a V from every time. And here's another useful F12 trick for this pair. And another useful F12 trick is when you have this pair like that into the back, you can do wide R prime, U2, wide R, B2, like that. And you can even do it if you have it from the front. You can do R2, R prime, F2, R, F2 prime like that, and it will look like so. And use the RUFR prime, it's really good. Now for the last solve, you did have a U prime, so don't do that. And I noticed that for these inserts, you always do UR prime, UR. And I just recommend doing R prime, U2R a bit more because it's faster. What else do I have to set up here? So, right, you had this pair here, and you can do it rotationless by doing that. Also, you had this pair, which you can do rotationless by doing that if you have the front right slot empty. If you don't have it empty, you can just do F, R, U2, R prime, F prime, like that. And learn this alg for the JA prime. It is faster. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this reconstruction video / critique video. You did pretty well. I'll see you guys next time.